Hey everybody, welcome to the MGF Podcast. This is wait, hang on a second. We're not doing this live, so why did I wait that long?
I guess that proves this is a pre-recorded episode.
Yeah.
One of the rare ones.
There's usually a delay, so I wait like 5 seconds before I actually start talking. But hey, everybody, welcome to the MGF Podcast. This is episode 23 of the show, the temporary name, where we talk movies, shows, games, Lego, and whatever else. Joining me, as always, is Tait. What's up, dude?
We get to make the SpongeBob meme on episodes 24 and 25, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh man,
Ross, what's funnier than 24?
25.
Ooh, okay, that's a little preview. Ross, we have an okay show. I mean, it's not great because I'm gonna get angry, and I think you are too. But let's
hoping. Let's
hop in with something that's not gonna make us angry. All right.
Let's hop in with something that's not going to give me a stroke right off the bat. Let's hope nothing happened yesterday, Saturday, which hasn't happened for us yet. I'm sure like some big mega news will have dropped, and we just will not be talking about it today.
Okay. You know what?
And my dog is in the background barking at midnight, so I give up. But really what do you want to start off with?
Really quick before we get started, I really want to say, so I've been thinking a lot, and I haven't pitched this idea to Ross yet, but maybe we'll do smaller update videos on the channel throughout the week. What do you think? I mean, like, because news comes out like this, like maybe like 15-minute talking point videos or less than that, just so we can cover news, because there was a lot of stuff that happened over the past week that I really wish we could have jumped on immediately. That we have to wait till the end
I was thinking about that. I had the same idea, Tate, but I was just thinking, like, I mean, we have the podcast. But I mean, I'd be down, man, because it's like, it is weird to talk about like the Rise of Skywalker trailer or like anything like almost a full week later, because
we are so late compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean that, it's not like the podcast is. I mean, obviously we are pretty news heavy because I mean it's just the easiest thing to talk about instead of like having deep philosophical conversations while we wander around on Red Dead 2 like we used to when we first started talking. I mean, it is easy to just pull up the news and start talking about the things we love.
Yeah, no, Ross and I will have like a deep conversation today. We'll just be dickheads to each other, and then all of a sudden for like 30 minutes to like 2 hours, we'll just start talking about something that's deeply philosophical and deeply important to us. And I feel like that's not really the best format for a podcast. I mean, I don't know. Like, what was it, Ross? A couple of nights ago, we were talking about like the actual intricacies of synapses in the brain and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I forgot. We were having a deep... It was in Minecraft. I think we were both zombied out, but I just started talking about how we have this intricate computer in our heads that is not appreciated. But I don't think that's the best best thing for a podcast. So I think smaller news update videos and then rounding off the week at the end with maybe more so a talking points based thing and news kind of quickies, if that makes sense. Like, we'll quickly talk about each subject.
We're considering more content for the channel, like here and there throughout the week.
Yeah, so
that might show up when something big happens, or
Exactly. So let us know what you guys think about that. And we're trying to secure a very special guest. I know we mentioned it, but
yeah, we will see.
We will see.
I have to actually send out a formal email. Instead of just at the end. But yeah.
Moving forward on to our first topic of the day.
Oh man,
it's big.
I have no idea what it is because I don't have the topics list up on me.
MGF, it's something you forged in the fires of MGF.
Wait, that's
Mordor.
not the first one. It is. Nope, that's not it. It's I have no idea because Tate basically sent me the topics list in Inside Jokes code. So
well, what is the first one, Ross? It is the thing you created in the.
I can read it aloud, and then we will get restricted.
Ross, your Endgame Cap and Iron Man are finally completed, and you have started filming your showcase.
I did. Yep, it's final. I don't know how many times I've talked about these two figures over the last it's really since the podcast started. Yeah, man. I mean, these two figures, the first Endgame showcase and all the Endgame showcases are one big passion project. I'm not, the same Ross who can just sit down for 5 months and work on figures nonstop. It's not as easy to do as you might think, making figures of the caliber I do for that long. And so that's why, I mean, that's part of the reason it's taking so long for me to finally complete Captain America and Iron Man for Avengers Endgame now. But also because, I mean, and I say a lot in the showcase, I've already filmed the intro and the outro. This is the last time I get to do this, right? I mean, sure, I'll go back and make the Mark 7 from Avengers 2012 and Cap's 2012 suit and, like the stealth suit from Winter Soldier and the first. I still have those in the pipeline. Obviously, I'll do Spider-Man Far From Home and the rest of the Endgame figures first. But the point is, I'm not rushing to make my last figures of these guys. Yes, these are the last figures that are new suits, right? But to me, this is the last time. Like, I'm not going to be going back once I get through and I make the last Captain America and Iron Man figures. Even after these, that's it, man. So I'm saying I'm not rushing to the end, and so I've just had such a great time working on them on and off because I've really taken the time to do my best and to make sure they are everything that I wanted them to be. Because I mean, even looking back at the Infinity War figures I made last year, there were mistakes made. I mean, the Captain America figure was pretty boring compared to the one I just made. And it's just because the basic concept of making figures, in the sense that I don't work on figures when I don't feel like it, hasn't changed, but the expectations of myself and the quality has increased. And so it's just taking even longer to make figures as I get better. So it's been really awesome, and they are by far my best Captain America, by far my best Iron Man.
Speaking of which, Ross,
I'm really looking forward to posting the video in a few days.
Guys, take a look at the Mark 50 behind the Mark 85. So one side you see Ross with a deadline, and the other you see Ross without one. This takes time. All right, this takes a lot of effort, a lot of patience, and a lot of time. It's
and a lot of it is
the
just like
difference
wanting to
between
do
these.
better too. Like I talked about this a lot in the Captain America segment, which I'm trying to record tonight. I look back to just the Infinity War variant from last year, which took inspiration from the Civil War variant before it, and it's like I was taking inspiration from an inaccurate 2016 figure I had made, and I'm just thinking 2018 Ross just last year, like why? I should. So it's just, to me, all of this was kind of a no-brainer how I was going to approach these figures, because when I started on Captain America, the idea was I'm not looking backward anymore to take inspiration from anything. I am going to make the best Captain America as if I have never made one before. And that's exactly what I did, and it's just night and day. And I'm really proud of that, because, I mean, if I was on a time crunch, I don't know the figures would have turned out this good. And that is why I don't pressure myself to do that stuff anymore, because while, yes, I could still produce a really solid set of figures in a certain amount of time. I mean, you can look back at 2016 Suicide Squad. I kicked out that showcase in like a month and a half, and those are still some of the greatest figures I've ever made, even all these years later. But that takes more out of me than you might think, because to do those figures, it is just sitting there nonstop. I mean, most days to pull off figures in that time, and even then, like like last year with Infinity War, mistakes are made. Like for instance, in the Mark 50, the arc reactor is just too high up, and I had this big giant like slice through the middle of the chest sculpt, which was a little weird. I tried to paint over it and make it look a little less visible, but it was still there. But that was still a really solid Iron Man suit with some really great detail, but it wasn't. I don't think it was as accurate as I could have made it. So the point is, this upcoming showcase is really special because this is my ultimate Cap and my ultimate Iron Man. I really can't make them better than I have here, than what you're about to see in this video. Because, like, to me, my showcases are not just I make a custom minifigure, do a video, and move on. I mean, these are events for me, same as the movies are themselves. I make these figures, and I want to make sure the figures are everything I want them to be, and the videos are everything that they're supposed to be too, because they're time capsules, right? They're time capsules of the creative process and this legacy of making all these minifigures, following the legacy of Marvel themselves. And so it's more important to me than just making the figures and making the videos. I mean, this is really who I am. And so these two figures are a testament to that. These two figures are my tribute to the MCU and Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. as these characters, because I mean, they really changed entertainment. Those two actors leading the MCU, and I'm so glad they stuck it out, man. And because they could have hopped off at any point.
Absolutely.
There were so many opportunities, and they stuck around. I mean, Evans came so close a couple of times. Same with RDJ at one point. He was considering it. It's like, man, we will never have this again, Tate. And that's also why I really am putting my all into these figures, because we've talked about this, looking at the Phase 4, Phase 5 slate. Sure, Feige is building to the next big major event film. I'm sure the Fantastic Four and the X-Men might all be in it together. You know, whatever the next Endgame will be in 10 years, 15 years, it will never be this. It will never be the Infinity Saga led by Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Chris Evans' Captain America, Scarlett Johansson's Black. We will never have this again. And so I'm not in any rush to put this behind me, because these are still the most exciting films, some of the most exciting films we've ever had. And I'm just not in a rush to put them behind us, because Endgame is such a monumental film. It's not something that just gets old. It's not one of those films that just becomes irrelevant. I mean, every time I watch the Avengers Assemble scene at the end of Endgame, something like lights up in my freaking spirit that is just unlike any other moment in cinema history. I mean, it doesn't matter when I cue up that scene. Something just stirs up in me, and that's special. And that's why making these figures are special, because all of this is special to me. And that's why I'm just rambling on and on about how much I love the MCU. But I mean, this has been my life since 2013, when I first kicked this off with the first Iron Man 3 showcase.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude, after the Clone Wars Tate, it was just Clone Wars, and Star Wars, and a little bit of Call of Duty and Halo trickled in here and there from like 2008 when I was a kid to 2013. Then we were just like kicked out to the curb, like, well, now what? You know? And to me, the MCU was the next chapter, and it's been crazy. It's taking the channel in whole new directions I never would have expected. I mean, it's craziness. So.
Excellent, dude. I just want to close out this segment by saying MGF does not stand for making good figs. It stands for making great figs. And that's what he's done here. Here you go. You hungry dogs barking at his door. Here's your showcase.
First of many, because I'm doing them in 2s and 3s. So the next one after this will be Black Widow and Ronin. Then after that will be Hulk, Thor, and so on. We'll see. It's going to be going all the way up until the end of the year.
And then the finale.
Really enjoy it.
The best for last, Plato Thanos.
Exactly, yeah. And it's really great because, I mean, you know, actually finishing these figures, I've been able to do more than just the progress posts over on Patreon. And it's really cool because there's actually like a discussion going on over there now, and people are, you know, over there really having a good time seeing all the exclusive content. So it's all really fun, man, expanding the channel and expanding all of this through Avengers Endgame, regardless of when the movie came out, because it's just so much more important than its release date. It is literally the biggest movie of all time. So yeah.
Moving on, we have a Tate thing. So you guys can mute your videos, because I know like maybe one person cares. But Astral Chain came out on August 30th, the day of recording. 2 days ago, if you're watching this on Sunday when it launches. And it's great so far. I have 4 hours in the game, and it's extremely fun. It's made by Platinum Games. They made Bayonetta, and they made MGR, and they made Nier Automata, and they have another hit here. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, I would highly recommend picking this up. It is an action game. It's like a horde-based action game. If you put it to the hardest difficulty, it's actually pretty challenging. Not the most challenging game in the world, but if you want to get S rank on everything, it is pretty challenging. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. So Astral Chain is out now on Nintendo Switch. This is not a paid advertisement, but boy, do I wish it was. Anyway, moving on.
I have absolutely no idea what we're just talking about.
It's an anime sword game, but it's not anime because anime has weird undertones about having sex with children. And this
we're not live, by the way, so I can't actually like see what we're talking about either. So.
It's a game where you take control of aliens and you make them fight for you, and it's really fun.
Rock on.
All right, moving forward, we have the WandaVision poster that came out as we were recording the podcast last week, so we could not put them up. And see, this is what this is what we were talking about, though. I mean,
can we just first of all appreciate Andy Park, the concept artist for the MCU? That guy, I mean, this guy, oh my God, over the years, this guy has always been the first to deliver hype for an upcoming Marvel project because it's always his concept art that we see first.
Dude, the shadow in the background is the highlight for me. The little shadows.
Oh man, dude, when Elizabeth Olsen first started talking about this series and she started mentioning it's got 50s vibes, I'm like, oh, okay, so it'll be, the way they're shooting, it's, it'll kind of feel like 50s and probably some warm lighting, right? Some extravagant costumes. I figured I didn't think she meant it so literally that Wanda's literally like somehow living in her own reality. Who knows how they're going to integrate it into the story. But she is just straight up living in Scarlet Witch dreamland in the 50s with a human Paul Bettany Vision, and it's like, this is exciting, man, because I mean obviously people are making callbacks to House of M. Some are thinking like maybe when she realizes that none of this is real, that she's going to freak the hell out, and so begins Doctor Strange 2. Who knows? But this is exciting. Those silhouettes are exciting. That TV is glowing red, and it takes place in the 50s. I'm so down for this. Because it also means we get to keep their moment from Infinity War. And as much as I would love to have Vision back, maybe it is best that he stays dead.
I hope he does in the MCU in terms of the team-up situation.
Because you hate him.
No. Because he served his thematic narrative. He had a sacrifice, a death that moved the plot forward, and that's what he needed to do. He fulfilled his character arc. Ross. No, but I hope that she ends up... not ends up, but I hope she has a situation where she gets to travel to the multiverse and meet up with him and say, hey...
Dude, Tate just wants Wanda to end up dead.
Okay, we're moving on, because Ross ruins everything. Highlights for me is that she's wearing a little head crest thingy in the shadow.
Yeah, do you think that they're actually going to give her that? She's going to have that in Doctor Strange, too.
She's going to have it, 100%.
That's exciting, man.
And then she's going to reset the universe. She's going to wipe out half the mutants. Yeah. She's going to wipe out all the mutants, my bad.
And the mutants have barely got there.
No, but that's a storyline in the comics, Ross. Shut up. I'm not done. And she's going to become the new overall enemy of the Avengers. That would be my ideal Black Widow. To have her become the new Thanos.
Have Black Widow become the new Thanos?
I mean, Scarlet Witch.
Dude, you're not a Marvel fan. You are a fraud.
Ross.
Caught you red-handed.
You're right. I'm not a Marvel fan. I've never claimed to be.
You don't even know the name of Red Skull's ship.
I've told you, Ross, that I like only like a third, not even a third, I like a quarter of the MCU movies.
Tate hates Marvel.
No, I don't. Infinity War brought me back in. Such a great movie. Endgame was okay. This looks okay. I'm more excited for Captain Falcon.
All right, we have to title this episode "Yanking Chaits." I can't speak today, dude. I drank too much coffee apparently. We have to title this podcast "Yanking Tait's Chain."
Ross is a chain yanker. Like this video if you want Ross to yank your chain. Moving on with the Black Widow film poster. Yeah. All right, that's fine by me. Ross, what do you think?
You mean the Scarlet Witch poster?
Oh my god. Ross Fallon wants to die. I'm gonna fly to Asheville. Oh wait, am I not allowed to say that?
No,
oh shit.
Swing.
Do I need to bleep this out? Do we need to like silence
bleep
out so I can cut this part?
Are you stupid? Bleep what out?
The town I just said?
Oh no, I have that on my Twitter bio.
Okay, just making sure.
So, what were we talking about?
Black Widow, Scarlet Witch poster. My bad, Scarlet Witch movie.
This Scarlet Witch poster. I mean, dude, it's red. Close enough. I mean, this is first of all. Why didn't Natasha have a costume this good in Endgame? Like, what happened to this costume?
We can't see the costume on screen. The screen grab doesn't include the costume.
Oh, what are you showing?
I'm showing the poster, but it's cropped into her head.
Oh.
Because this was the only high-res image I could find.
Well, the new suit looks great. And I was not expecting David Harbour's Red Tornado to actually have a costume. So that's pretty nuts.
Imagine wasting David Harbour on a one-shot movie. That's such a shame.
They definitely are. Like, he's not coming back after this at all.
No, not at all. And if he does,
for some reason, I thought that he might be Taskmaster, but then I was like, no, physically that doesn't make sense. He wouldn't be playing Taskmaster.
It'd be a good casting, but you'd have to completely reinvent Taskmaster, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you got Yelena in that poster. You've got a lot of really great stuff. I'm so looking forward to this movie. We're not going to get Budapest flashbacks, which is kind of a shame because they would have announced Jeremy Renner by now. Or maybe they'll do it anyway, and it'll be a surprise that they'll spoil in TV spots, or we'll see leak online. Point is, yeah, this movie's still coming out.
Cool. Ezra Miller, Flash movie, who cares? I have a picture of him looking very flamboyant on screen. Apparently it has a new director. Who cares?
Listen, man, I'll care if they come out and say, yeah, we're doing Flashpoint. Otherwise, I'm done.
Yeah, but you can't just do Flashpoint. Ross, you know what Flashpoint is, right? It's a crisis. It's a reset.
Yeah, man.
You need to
the DCU is already being reset every other year now.
But
it doesn't matter.
What I'm saying, Ross, is that you need a catastrophic event to take place before Flashpoint. It'll feel so weird if they're just like, oh yeah, he was running and he ran too fast on accident. Whoops.
Dude, he wanted to save Mom. I mean, he seemed to be moving on just fine. I mean, no emotional. Yeah, I'm doing really great today, guys. No emotional turmoil for him as far as like the death of his mother in Justice League, so that wouldn't make sense if they did Flashpoint. That being said, I don't care.
I haven't seen that movie, by the way. Dude, I'm very happy about that.
The DCEU is just one big post-credit scene. That's how it feels to me. Because listen, man, we were just talking about this before we started shooting Tait. Like, imagine if RDJ tapped out midway through Phase 1 of the MCU and Marvel just kept going. This is a joke. All of this is one big post-credit scene. We lost our leading man. Henry Cavill's about to bail out. And let's say he does come back. Comes back for what? One movie? Then he bails anyway. It's like, listen, man, this is a joke. I love the DCEU all the way up until Ben Affleck finally decided to inevitably bail. We knew he would because he should have, because it was all a mistake from the beginning. As much as I love BVS and his take on Batman, I really don't care about the DCEU anymore. I meant it when I said I was done.
Hey, Ross,
because it's just all one big smack in the face to me.
He wasn't the only Batman actor that bailed. They need to just have the new World Forger from the comics come in, strike his Crisis Hammer, and reset the DCEU. That'd be so rad. They just like, whatever.
Because then what's going to happen? They're going to mess it up again. You're going to have him come back in a few years, do it again.
Perfect.
Keep doing it. Oh my God.
God, stop making DC movies like this. Just make more Joker standalone movies. Make more,
but Tait,
not Joker specifically.
But on the flip side of Marvel, we can't have a DC cinematic universe.
That's
too,
fine. I want individual. I want good individual DC movies, Ross.
Yeah, dude. So do I. But I mean, I think it's good to have both because cinematic universes are fun. The crossover potential is fun. The ensembles are fun. It hasn't been done before with the DC characters. At least they tried, and it's potential that should not be. That these studios should not sleep on. But Ross, they blew it. So
they bought the carriage before the horse is the issue.
Yeah.
They didn't go through all of the growing pains of raising, a baby horse into a full-sized one. They didn't start with the pony, raise it slowly, and then buy the carriage to supplement it. Now they said, we want the carriage now. So we're going to make our executive slaves, our directors and our actors slave and drag this carriage through the water.
Dude, whenever Zack Snyder's talking about the DCU, man, I swear it's like whenever I see footage of him, like Jason Momoa, thanking him for everything that he did for his career, and he's like giving him a camera. It's like, it's almost like Zack Snyder seems uncomfortable when he's talking about the DCU now. Maybe that's just me reading too much into it. But listen,
Zack
man,
Snyder always looks uncomfortable.
I don't care. I'm done. I don't even know if I'll go see the movie.
Joker is the only DC movie I care about.
Yeah,
Because it's not a superhero movie.
the Joker genuinely looks like an incredibly high quality film,
And it looks like a film, not a superhero film, and that's why I'm excited.
or not even just a superhero film, but just not even a super villain film. It's not even, you know,
It's not a comic film at all.
right.
And if it is, if oh my god, if they subvert our expectations by saying, oh, now he's gonna go fight, a chivalric battle against.
He's gonna fight a big CGI clown.
That's not gonna happen though, because the director of the movie and Joaquin Phoenix have both said that this is not a superhero movie, that this is a movie about a man.
Didn't they say they didn't even use a green screen like the whole film? That's impressive.
No, Gotham is partially screened, but it's not CGI characters. They're using CGI the way it was meant to be used, which is by enhancing, your location.
I don't agree with that, but
Ross,
I get what you're saying.
I don't mean that CGI characters have no place. I mean that CGI shouldn't be overused. Like, I think that CGI is a necessity when you need to enhance the movie, but like, let's think about the Thing remake in 2013. Them CGIing over great puppetry is dumb.
Oh yeah, I mean,
in a movie like
when it's used in excess, yeah.
But you have Infinity War and Inception and the Revenge of the Sith. That's
Dude, CGI is a gift to entertainment. That's what it is.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're using it the way that a lot of people argue it should be used, by enhancing this set, and I think that's great. Speaking of the Joker, I mean, why don't we just go into it?
Yeah, so I only watched the new trailer once. I was hesitant at first because I didn't really... I want to enjoy the film. I do plan on making this Joker if the film is good in Lego. It wouldn't be that hard. That's not a difficult figure to make. But that being said...
Let's start with the trailer first. Number one.
Yeah, no.
I only watched the trailer once, and I advised Ross to only watch it once because as soon as you start looking into trailers, you start noticing things about the movie that you can't notice in the cinema. So we're going off of one viewing. I watched it a couple days ago when it was released. Let me just say, the Batman Begins trilogy was great. Batman Begins, you have the racial railway system. You have the foreign terrorism analogy, right? The 9/11 analogy there. With Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, you have the domestic terrorism, right? You have the terrorist that's born and raised on U.S. soil. They kind of dropped that with the last movie, so let's just focus on Batman Begins and Dark Knight. You have two movies that mirror the state of affairs in the U.S., right? Fast forward to 2019, what's been going on in the news? Mass shootings, all of these horrible atrocities in that domestic terror. And what do they give us? They give us a movie about a man who is being destroyed in every aspect of life, who is going to lose his mind and act upon, impulse. I mean, this is going to be incredible. I said this a couple months ago when the first trailer came out. This is going to be a movie about a man with a shattered psyche who is having a hard time suppressing that. And Joaquin Phoenix can play crazy characters so well. And not crazy in I'm so crazy. I'm, not crazy in a comical sense, but crazy in a sense of real psychosis and a real degradation of what it means to be a human being. And I am so excited to see that. The imagery in the trailer is so nice. It shows his perspective. Yeah, I gotta say,
there are a couple things in the trailer that I didn't need to see.
Such as?
So, I mean, if you want to go into seeing the Joker, spoiler-free, anybody listening, we're going to talk about the trailer openly. So that's your warning. I didn't need to see, I think it was Thomas Wayne punching Arthur.
I didn't need to see that. Yeah, no.
I didn't need to see him kissing the girl from
Yeah.
There were certain things in the trailer that I really didn't need to see.
Yeah, I think the Thomas Wayne thing being addressed before the movie comes out is a shame. That's a crying shame. I mean,
because
imagine.
that could have been saved. I didn't think it was going to get that tense between them. So,
right, and then yeah, the whole love interest. I think though, I don't think she's going to
know he was going to have a love interest.
Ross, I don't think she's going to be an important character. I think she's going to be a first act character.
Yeah,
because if you look at other movies in a similar vein, specifically ones that Joaquin Phoenix has done, there are those quote-unquote love interest characters that only come in for the first act and serve a thematic purpose there and then exit the film. And
like Olivia Wilde making a cameo in Her.
Exactly.
Right.
That is exactly the thing that came into my mind, right?
Yeah.
That one that looks like the primary love interest, and then it's just completely wiped away for the actual story. And I think that's the purpose she's going to serve. I think she's going to say, oh, you're not as bad as people say or whatever. And he's going to go, no, I'm worse or something,
like,
cheesy.
oh, watch me.
Yeah, oh, watch me. When I told people I wanted to be a comedian, they all would laugh. And no one's laughing now. That's such a good line. I love that he's just so detached from... It's almost like an autism spectrum kind of characterization of him not understanding social cues and not understanding the weight of his words. I think it's so interesting.
And dude, Tait, that laugh is shocking. I mean, and oh my God.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
The moment in these trailers when what I love about it, that what I think is so unique about it, because you didn't get this with even Heath Ledger's Joker. This is what I think is really cool.
That wasn't a man
already about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker already. That's so unique. Is how unsettling he makes you. Without, like, for instance, in the first trailer, he does the full laugh and barely emotes while doing it.
Ross, so
and then in this trailer, he does the full laugh just walking down a hallway and then just cuts it off immediately back to straight face. It's like, whoa! I mean, just stuff like that is already so unique.
So I think he's kind of treating the laugh like it's a Tourette's tick kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is, Tourette's does manifest in laughing sometimes. I think he's doing that, and it furthers his emotional destruction so much. And it allows it almost contextualizes his emotional distress to the viewer. And absolutely
it's great, man, because like I was wondering how are they going to make this that unique? I mean, and how are they going to separate it from Heath Ledger's? Dude, they're already doing it in these trailers.
Oh, yeah.
It's
this is not any Joker I know, and I've been reading Batman comics religiously for 18 years, and I'm 18 years old. Okay, I had a memory loss issue that cleared a lot of it away, but I read as much as I could.
He was reading a Batman comic coming out of the womb.
No, the nurse, she shoved a Batman comic up there. I was reading it while I came out. All right. I mean, dude, I absolutely love these characters, and I absolutely love that we're getting so. As I would consider myself primarily above anything else when it comes to comic book media, or any kind of media. I am primarily a film fan. I would rather a good film than a comic accurate film, if that makes sense. I would rather a good film, a good film with a foreign concept.
We sacrifice comic accuracy all the time in the MCU already. Right. I mean, and so it's like I think fully abandoning it here for the Joker is something that people, I hope, are ready to accept.
Right. But my point is, by saying that I'm here to watch a good film, I don't care about my connection to the characters at all, and I'm so glad that I have no connection to this Joker. Let me tell you that right now. I'm so glad. I have a connection to Joaquin Phoenix. I have no connection to this character that we're seeing on screen. And I am so excited about that. The name Joker could be removed from this movie, and I wouldn't care. I would not care. I would still feel this way about this movie. This is how I felt before this is how I felt before Her. This is how I felt before a lot of things that Joaquin Phoenix has done. This movie because of the way it's written, because of the way it's acted. We see this in the trailer, and this can't be said about a lot of movies. We see a maniacal, destroyed man, and if this doesn't come to fruition, if Warner Brothers interferes and we see that in the final product of the movie, I will be more disappointed with this movie than any movie I have ever seen, if that's the case. I want to see Joaquin Phoenix's vision come to life on screen. I want to see his personification of Joker come to fruition. Not even of Joker, but of a destroyed man. And that's what we're seeing so far. And I am so impressed that Warner Brothers is allowing this. If this is true, if this is what the movie's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's been nothing in these trailers that has left me concerned in the slightest. I mean, this just looks like such a quality film. I mean, I am so looking forward to the I'm looking forward to this more than The Rise of Skywalker. I'm looking forward to this more than any other film coming out in the rest of 2019. Yeah. I almost said 18.
I am dreading no film more than Rise of Skywalker. That is the film. That is my most dreaded film of all time, Ross.
It's gonna be a chore, man, if it doesn't deliver. And speaking of Rise of Skywalker, do you just want to go right into that next?
No, I have more to say.
Okay. All right, dude. Yeah, sure.
We see callbacks to the comics in forms of Thomas Wayne. That's it. Think about that. Just Gotham City and just some philanthropist. That is all.
Yep.
Think about that for a second. Contextualize that in your mind. This is not Gotham City. This is some new city that we've never seen before. That makes me so excited.
Yeah, man.
I really hope they don't push the superhero thing in this movie, dude.
I don't think they will at all, dude. I mean,
I don't think so either. I mean, if this trailer is anything to go off of, they've been given artistic freedom.
And I'm just so curious what the story will actually wind up being.
I really
obviously going to be a departure. I wonder.
You're going to open up.
I
think you're going to open up with a man who is.
Well, I mean, once you get past all of that, what's the plan? You know.
The plan. You mean the plan, like for the future of this character?
No, not for the future. What is Arthur's plan going to be in the film's second and third act?
Oh, dude, I 100% think that the movie's going to play out. First act we see a destroyed man who's having a hard time going through society.
Right.
Then we're going to see him, we're going to see him break. We're going to see him snap. Mm-hmm. He's going to, start building an empire. And then I think his end goal, because of the Joker we've been seeing on screen, I think he's going to say something along the lines of, I just want to make people laugh. And he's just going to be a terrorist. I think he's going to have no motivation besides a destroyed psyche. If there's a master criminal plan, I'll be disappointed.
If they're going to go the opposite direction of Ledger's Joker, in the sense that, like, Ledger's Joker was obviously...
He had a plan.
Just as crazy and as psychotic as you could have ever hoped for.
He was a military man with an angle.
Exactly what he was doing every single step of the way. He was 10 steps ahead of everyone at any given moment. I mean, he was a super genius at the same time. I wonder if they're going to do something similar here. I kind of doubt it.
I will be extremely disappointed if this Joker has an Endgame. I will.
What?
I'll be extremely disappointed if this Joker has an Endgame. And when I say an Endgame, I don't mean a generalization. I mean a specific goal. Like, if he has a specific goal, like, I want to shatter Thomas Wayne, like, I'll be super disappointed. As opposed to this man just being a psychotic man. I just want him to be psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
I just want him to be, and I want, like, the final scene that everybody's left with, him, committing some terrorist attack in a super psychotic and detached, almost animalistic way. I don't think this Joker needs a big final battle against a superhero or anything. I think we should be left with this Joker locked up in an insane asylum. Nothing changes at the end of the film. And then just let this stand on its own. Let this stand on its own as an individual thing.
Yeah, man, I don't... There's not going to be... This is going to be a standalone film for sure.
I really hope it's a complete standalone. Even if this movie becomes the highest grossing movie of all time, which it won't, but if it does... I don't want them to make a sequel. I don't want them to touch this ever again. I want it to be a completely self-contained story about a psychotic man whose story is completed by the end of the film, who is a psychotic man at the end of the film. That's all I want. And I just want to see Joaquin Phoenix flex his acting muscles Because he can play this better than.
The godly
better than
performance is already guaranteed, right?
Yeah, no, I mean this is.
You can. Oh my God, you can already see it.
So look at Gladiator, right? Look at Gladiator. This is just a further extension of that characterization.
I haven't seen Gladiator since I was a kid, and I really need to rewatch that.
He is a maniac in that movie.
I was introduced to Joaquin Phoenix in Signs.
That's a great movie. That's a great movie, dude.
That film was like my family's favorite suspense film growing up.
It's not bad. I don't like the twist at the end, but that movie's not bad, dude. I like that movie.
Dude, but oh my God, did that movie scare the crap out of me as a kid. I mean, I still have PTSD from those freaking aliens.
Gosh, Ross is a sissy. That's what he's saying.
Dude, as a kid, man, that was quite the Shyamalan film.
Oh yeah. That's back when he was a good director. God Split was not bad though.
I haven't seen any of those movies. But anyway.
All right.
Yeah, no, Joaquin Phoenix is a god tier actor, and I mean, I'm very very much looking forward to this. I mean, if I can stop for like a few days and make a quick Joker figure, that's definitely something I'm considering, because it wouldn't take long. It's literally just the head, green hair, and the suit. I mean, it's really not that difficult.
You don't have to do any sculpt thing, nothing like that.
Well,
maybe
that's a very straightforward. No, the hair would just be the Luke Skywalker piece. That's all you need.
There you go.
Really. So yeah, maybe we'll see.
Gosh. Anyway. Well, let's take Euphoria down to complete distaste, disdain, disappointment, all the diss words. Let's talk about Rise of Skywalker, because that trailer came out on Monday.
It did.
Nostalgia bait, nostalgia bait, nostalgia bait. Hey, remember when this happened in 1977? Hey, remember when this happened in 1985? Hey, remember when this happened in 2006?
Yeah, listen, I get it. This is the end of the saga, and that's obviously when they would start ripping clips, but it's like...
Disney, stop. Stop.
I mean, it would have been better if they did that for the first trailer. But doing it for the D23 first look, it was an odd choice.
Dude, you know what bugs me? They didn't make these movies. They don't have the emotional attachment. They didn't hire people with emotional attachment to make these movies, and now they're going in on emotional attachment full force.
Mm-hmm.
Where is our interconnectivity with the old movies? I mean, I think we commented on this last week. Where are the Twi'leks in Moscanata's castle? Where are the Quarren in the
yeah, right. But I mean,
even
going past the connectivity issues that we know are going to be present again, it's like...
One second. The reason I bring that up is not to complain, but it's to say there are more natural ways...
I was going to complain more about the bigger problem.
Right, but I was. This is more so a piece of feedback, but including interconnectivity in terms of the species, the spaceships, that kind of stuff, is way better than saying, here's a Y-Wing again, here's an Imperial fleet again, here's these things again. Remember these things? These were cool. No. People that live off nostalgia will remember all of the Twi'lek characters, all of the, they might remember Cad Bane being a Duros in the Clone Wars. They'll remember those kind of things. They'll remember that Nien Nunb is a Celestin, add more Celestins. There are things like that would nostalgia bait people. Just not to the same degree, not such a highly just detached, ugly degree, and two, it would add more interconnectivity as opposed to just showing us an Imperial fleet, showing us Y-Wings and A-Wings that should have been deconstructed and turned into better spaceships. I mean, talk about resource management.
It makes me wonder, how did the story group just collectively sit in a room and let JJ do that? Or, how did no one say, the thing about the Rebel Y-Wings is they're actually kind of messed up from, because of the fact they're recycled from the Clone Wars. It's 30 years later, they would have fixed those ships. Oh my God. It's like that's just lazy to me. Usually you can pass off a good majority of, things like using the exact same X-Wings or TIE fighters 3 decades.
The X-Wings are different. I appreciate that, but the Y-Wings are the same.
But they're not that different.
They're not different enough.
Yeah.
But the Y-Wings are copy and pasted. The Y-Wings
it's obnoxious, man.
They're using B-Wings, dude. There were B-Wings spotted in the trailer.
Now listen, Tate,
B-Wings.
like this trailer, this new footage from D23 took the internet by storm.
Everybody's excited except for us.
Everybody just as excited for this as they were for The Force Awakens and as I was for The Last Jedi.
Not The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens was unrivaled.
Well, but the people, you know what I mean. It's not as far-reaching as The Force Awakens. The people who are looking forward to this it is the same level of hype almost.
Yeah.
And it's been an alienating experience to go on Twitter to discuss this with friends who are excited because I just can't get there because it's dishonest. The Star Wars story is in such a terrible place right now. The story of the sequel trilogy is in such a terrible place right now after The Last Jedi that is almost irreversible for one movie. We've talked about this plenty. I have serious doubts that JJ can turn all of this around and wrap up the entire saga in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I mean, I hope he's able. I hope that they're able to do something sufficient here. I really do. And I would love to be just as excited for this as I was for The Force Awakens, but I'm not. It would be dishonest of me. There is a lot of great shots in this new footage. I mean, visually, everything is great. Visually, everything I think is fine. The worlds aren't that interesting. I mean, you've got this dark blue sandy planet, which has like lightning going on. I mean, that looks okay. They're fighting in like the oceans of Endor, seemingly on board. You know, they're on board the wreckage of the Death Star too, so that's fun.
That's cool.
But I mean, okay, and then you've got Bait at the end with Darkseid Rey. Listen, that's not going to be. She's not actually going to turn to the dark side. She's either going to be possessed by Palpatine. She's going to be that's a clone, which would be really dumb, or it's the most likely scenario. It's just a vision, and I'm just not buying it anymore, Tate. We've talked about this. It is the same JJ mystery box Lucasfilm campaign that was used for The Force Awakens and mirrored for The Last Jedi. And then we got to The Last Jedi, man, and side characters hijacked the whole film.
Oh my god,
the story was just so underwhelming, and The Last Jedi story was just the definition of midway stagnation for a trilogy that every movie studio should so desperately avoid with a passion. For the story to just slow down to a screeching halt like that, it was a shame. And I'm just not doing this again.
Really quick.
I mean, and it's the same thing with DC, right? I'm just not going to get smacked in the face.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to get smacked in the face and then just walk right up to have it happen again. I'm not an idiot. And it's just dishonest if I were to start jumping up and down over any of this.
So I want to say,
but I am grateful that it's happening. You know, I still want to make sure that's clear. I mean, I'll never forget being a little kid, you know, watching through the saga for the first time and then getting cut off at the end, right? You know, when's episode 7 going to happen? And I'm still grateful that this trilogy even happened at all. But that being said, man, I'm not getting on board.
Here's the thing. I don't want to shit on Lost Jedi because we did that last week, and I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I don't want to keep. It's a beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I mean, we're not adding anything into the conversation with what we're saying, but there are things that I mean, I feel like we're allowed to say them because they are still very valid. I want to say The Force Awakens is a pretty tight film. I want to say we have 3 distinct storylines, right? You essentially you have Rey, Finn, Han, that storyline. You have Poe, who's very much a side character, and that's perfectly fine. He's serving his purpose there. I'm going to say thematic purpose again because he perfectly served it in The Force Awakens. And then you have the Kylo stuff. 3 tight storylines, 2 main ones, 1 side one. 2 A plots and a B plot. Perfect. That's tight movie. And then The Last Jedi, and this is because they threw it a different director, you just get hit over the head with 1 A plot taking up less time than 2 B plots. And if we just stuck to the structure of 2 A plots and a B plot, I think the story would have been a lot stronger. Integrate Rey and Kylo's plots together, so you don't have a villain plot specifically. You know, you have the Rey-Kylo dynamic, because that's one of the only good things in The Last Jedi. I think Kylo was done well. I've said that a lot on this podcast. I think Kylo was done well. So integrate...
No, yeah, Kylo Ren and Luke were not the problem in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I would I have liked Luke to be different? Yes, but that's besides the point. But anyway, you know, integrate the villain plot with the main hero plot. That's your A plot. Then put in a plot about Finn and Poe. Make that the second A plot, and then your B plot could be, you know, something political. But it should take up just as much screen time as Poe did in The Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. Right? Very little. I mean, the movie would have just... There would have been... If they just could have nailed down Rey's character development, like I said last week, if they really could have given her a situation where she was at her worst and she had to work her way back to the top by the end of the movie, that would have been great. I mean,
because now Tate, like JJ, if he's even going to fix Rey at all, he's going to have to opt. He will have had to have opted for something
nostalgia baity, like
not nostalgia baity, just something fast.
Something fast, but here's the thing:
chosen one, or Rey is a Palpatine contingency, or Rey is the. They have to do something, or the universe will remain broken because of her character.
The issue is all of the. These are contingency plans, dude. All of these contingency plans are nostalgia based, and that's so disappointing. Just because we have to fall back on a great trilogy or on a great franchise to finish these new movies.
Yeah, and I mean, and going back to the nostalgia bait and it's like the unknown regions are just one giant narrative convenience, and it's really getting laughable.
It was so cool in Legends. They did the unknown regions so well. Russ, we talked about
it was believable in new canon. Okay, the majority of the Empire, those who could, took Thrawn's star maps and they took off into the unknown regions and set up base wherever they could, and really tried to avoid re-entering the galaxy until the First Order, until they rebuilt into the first. Okay, fine, I can buy that, and that was fine. But to have Palpatine out there to some capacity too, whether he's in a physical form or not, and to have a mass fleet of Star Destroyers with Death Star cannons on the bottom. Get out of here, man. Enough.
We're not children. That's the thing. We're not kids. It's every kid in 1977 didn't magically teleport to 2019. You know what I mean? You can't cash in on that. And they really are, and they're unfortunately succeeding.
Dude, apparently in the other shot you've got with like the flip side where they're showing the Resistance. Dude, how much you want to bet that's like the Resistance, that's like the entire Resistance squadron? Like, how much you want to bet when they show that those silhouette shots, that's all they got? It will be a joke if that's the case. If they haven't rebuilt in the year following The Last Jedi, I will not care. It will just be hilarious at that point. Point is, though, apparently that frigate leading it up is the Tantive 4. If that's the Tantive 4, I'm done. It's like, enough. It's like, can we just have a good story, please? Enough with the Tantive 4. Enough with the Star Destroyers. Enough with all of it. Please, I hope JJ has crafted a good story, because again, I can't buy into this. It's dishonest. I want to be excited. I really do. But it's dishonest. I can't get there. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Leia sequences. I hope whatever these sequences are where they've got CGI clothes on Carrie, I hope they will be satisfying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care that C-3PO has red eyes. I could not care less. I think it's honestly kind of sad that spawned so much discussion.
God.
I mean, that's just so desperate to me. I mean, that people are getting that excited over something that minuscule. I mean, look, man, of course we'll be there day one. But Tate, I used to love Disney's Star Wars films so much. that I would literally drop what I was doing with my family every December, and for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, no, The Force Awakens, Rogue One, and The Last Jedi, 3 years in a row, my dad, my sister, and I packed up and took off in our car 4 hours across the state to the best IMAX in North Carolina so that we could enjoy the future of Star Wars on the best screen we could because of how excited we were for this new era of the franchise. And The Last Jedi was such a smack in the face. I mean, we did the same thing for The Last Jedi. We went there at a hotel. I mean, we were there. We make a 2-day event. We made a two-day event out of it. So it's not like it's not like this is easy for us to do, to just keep ranting and knocking. It sucks.
No, dude, are you kidding? Because we don't like to complain about
We loved
Star
The Force Awakens. I loved Rogue One, but The Last Jedi and Solo have really shattered my faith in Disney's live-action films. And these trailers and all the footage that we have seen thus far has done nothing to reignite that faith again, because this just looks like it's going to be more of the same.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong. I hope you are wrong, Tate. I really hope that this will completely prove us both wrong.
It's just so hard to say that, dude. When we have a movie that doesn't further the character growth at all. In The Last Jedi, if you're doing a trilogy arc where you have a first act movie, a second act movie, and a third act movie, you need to follow through with that. And so far, we've had 2 first act movies, so I don't know if I'll be satisfied ever with
no, and it's like, that's what happens when you mess up. You're midway through a trilogy. It happened with Star Wars. I mean, on the video game side of things, it happened with Halo 5. When you're doing a trilogy and you mess up the middle, you will always have a giant gaping hole. And it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there.
And to the people that say that happened in 1999 with Phantom Menace, saying that movie was shit, Attack of the Clones was shit, and that Revenge of the Sith is really good, I counter that by saying that's too shitty. That's a shitty first act, a shitty second act.
Listen,
it still has the structure. See, that's the thing.
I grew up loving the prequels, and I still love the prequels to death.
The only Star Wars, the only prequel movie I hate.
But listen, the one thing the prequels did not do, that story never stagnated.
That's what I was going to say.
That story never lost focus.
No. It had a first act movie, a second act movie, and a third act movie.
Right.
Anakin, he might have gotten married, but he lost his arm. He lost his dignity as a Jedi.
Imagine if the story just came to a screeching halt and we were just focusing on
young Anakin.
I don't know.
Young Anakin.
Yeah, no.
Oh no! You mean in that sense?
But
no! We just focused on Camino the entire movie.
In Attack of the Clones, the whole movie just stopped to focus on Mace Windu or at Camino or on Padme or any of the secondary characters.
Yeah,
that would have been terrible.
No, that movie was about Anakin learning how to harness his Force powers.
We have a main character, and in this case, in the sequel trilogy, Rey was supposed to be the main focus, and it's like she was only given half the movie and nothing happened with her screen time.
She should be given 3/4 of the movie like she was in Force Awakens.
I mean, it sucks, man. It sucks. It also sucks that my dog is barking at 1 o'clock in the morning almost. Yeah. A lot of negativity in this conversation, man, because it's just honesty. That's all it is.
I don't want to start beating a dead horse. I don't want to start repeating myself. I just want to close by saying The Force Awakens is great, perfect first act. The Last Jedi continues the first act. I really hope this movie isn't bogged down by needing to support a second and third act.
I'm just not going in with expectations this time, Tate. I mean,
but you know what, Ross? You know who you are going in with? Me, because I'm flying down there just to complain the entire time.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be in Kansas City at that time, so we might be going there. So
Yes, I'm flying to Kansas City.
That'd be
God,
awesome if we could actually pull that one off.
I am going to bring my laptop, and I'm going to point the webcam at the movie screen.
Dude, the opening crawl starts. Everybody, welcome to the MGF Podcast. This is episode 37.
Wait, give me 1 second, Ross. Keep the audience at bay.
But yeah, guys, I mean, I am looking forward to the future of Star Wars, but more so the Disney Plus side. I am so excited to finally see the beloved series that changed my life, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, finally wrap up and finally.
Hey guys, welcome to the MGF Podcast. This is episode 50-something. Today we're going to be watching Rise of Skywalker.
Content ID.
Oh God, no! You know what? We got demonetized for.
Yeah, we had our episode 13 episode from like, I think it was E3. Freaking got a nice solid couple of content ID claims out of nowhere. So
yeah, just fun. Some dumb anime game that I have no idea
about. we did kind of like keep that stream up for like 5 hours, so that's understandable. Content ID would have. I'm surprised it didn't get hit sooner on it, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, Tate.
Yeah.
I don't think. Is there anything else that we should really? I think that might be it.
Yeah, no, that's our topics list exhausted.
Yeah, man. So, Tate is off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Lizards.
I'm actually just off to Arizona in the morning, so.
He's off to Arizona. He's probably gonna dry up and become a shrub, because Arizona is just a wasteland.
It sucks.
It is. It is literally real life Mad Max.
No, the only cool thing about Arizona is that I can buy and shoot fireworks. That's it.
You go there, buy and shoot fireworks, and leave.
No, I'm going for my cousin's baby shower.
Oh man,
she is
That's
pregnant.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I get to be there and be like, "What's up? I'm probably the youngest person here."
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about Spider-Man. I forgot about that.
Were we? Oh yeah, I got re-released for 3 days.
I don't really want to talk about this for that long because honestly, it's still depressing. But I mean, a couple new developments. Tom Holland did say that he's staying on board. Basically, I mean that's pretty much what he said by saying Marvel and Disney allowed him to realize his dream, and Sony's allowing him to continue his dream. That's pretty much what he said at a panel. He was at like Philadelphia Comic-Con or something, I think.
Oh no, wasn't it
Keystone Comic-Con?
Yeah. Maybe.
So yeah, man. I mean, that's great. I hope Sony can somehow still deliver a solid couple of Spider-Man films if this doesn't wind up working out. And I actually wound up buying the freaking Hot Toys Infinity War Spider-Man to get the Iron Spider suit because it's my favorite MCU Tom Holland suit. And I just like had this moment, like I might have talked about Hot Toys like a few times on the show, where it's like those collectibles are so amazing, but also so expensive. So I wanted to make sure that when I do buy them, I buy the absolute best costume they will ever have, and that's the collectible that I have. And in this case, I did it for Endgame and got Cap, Tony, and Thanos all on pre-order, and it's going to be like amazing. But point is, I'm so doubtful about the future of Spider-Man right now, Tate, that I bought the freaking Hot Toys Iron Spider because there may never be a better suit than that. But yeah, and so Sony, of course, had their re-release. No one went. It was laughable. I mean, there were just screenshots all over Twitter and Instagram of just empty seating lists. I mean, it was sad. I mean, I was thinking about going. Pulled up Fandango. I was like, these seats are all going to be gone. It was like, I think this was like Wednesday when I looked.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, no one bought a single ticket. It was wide open for the 7:00 showing. I'm like, whoa. I mean, that's not. I mean, at least Endgame, some seats were bought up, right? I mean, this is just embarrassing. And What isn't embarrassing though is the footage that they actually included. It's better than what we got with the god awful Endgame re-release. I mean, we had a solid Stan Lee tribute with the Endgame re-release, but as far as Spider-Man Far From Home's re-release by Sony and their quick cash grab here, they've actually got that full pre-travel checklist for Peter. So him getting his passport, him in the Iron Spider suit, dealing with that crime family, all that stuff that was cut from the trailers and guaranteed to be put on the Blu-ray as a short film was tacked on to the beginning of Far From Home and then just kicked into theaters. So that's great. Am I passing up potentially the last opportunity to see an MCU Spider-Man film in theaters? Yeah, but I feel satisfied having seen it twice. I didn't like it enough to feel, like I need to claw my way back to the theater to see it again. I am more than willing to wait a couple months for it to come out on digital, and I'll just watch the sequences then or just watch them leaked. I really don't care because it's still too fresh, man. It's still too depressing. The film already is not my favorite Spider-Man film at all. And so that coupled with just the depressing news of Tom Holland's exit, potentially forever, it's just not, it was horrible timing. Horrible timing. Would have been nice if this news didn't happen. That's my take.
It's sad.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so anyway.
Yep, that's that.
All right. So next week we will be back live with episode 24 and special guest Jack Bauer. And then so once we have Keith Sutherland on the show, it'll be great. And we can save the president. So on that note, thank you for watching.
I think Ross's edibles just kicked in. I mean, that would be my guess. Because of whatever that just was at the end there.
Tait is inevitable.
But also, Ross, we are inevitable. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next week. Live as Ross said. Bye-bye.